Have you ever been cheated on? She thought I'd never find out. I trusted Anna in a way I hadn't trusted anyone before. We shared the little victories first with each other. A raise, a silly mistake at work, the way the busker on our corner finally learned the chorus of that song we both loved. We were the kind of couple that fit into life like two puzzle pieces. Imperfect, yes, but snug and reassuring. So when the small things started to wobble, her phone face down on the coffee table more often, little evasions about where she'd been, girls' nights that lasted until the sun bled orange through the blinds, I felt the first pricks of worry. I told myself they were coincidences. Stress, bad timing. I reminded myself that Anna wasn't the kind of person who lied about big things. The voice I trusted lived inside her. One slow Sunday evening, I was finishing a freelance project when Anna asked to borrow my laptop because hers was acting up. She moved away from the table to rinse cups, leaving her messages open. When a chat notification pinged in the corner, I glanced over. I wasn't going to look until I saw the name in the chat window, a bland nickname. But it was tagged with the same pet emoji she used when texting me. Habit, maybe. Curiosity, probably. I told myself to close the window. I resisted. Nobody grows up thinking they'll ruin their life with a single click. But I hovered over the keypad and read. Sweet talk. Late night logistics. Can't wait to see you. A photo. Then a line that cut like a blade. He trusts me too much. My chest contracted. For a moment, all the air left the room. I watched the message history spill down the screen like a pale waterfall of small betrayals. Dates, hotel references, quick coffees at that little chain on the edge of town. Jokes about me. Not cruel in the dramatic sense, but casual, dismissive, treating me like an object. The banality of it made it worse. I shut the laptop as if it might bite. When she came back into the kitchen with a towel over her shoulder, I smiled as if nothing had happened and asked if she wanted tea. She laughed, tossed me a towel, and said, "Sure." Earl Grey? Her voice was easy, familiar. My brain was screaming, but I said nothing. That night, lying beside her in bed, I stared at the ceiling, breathing through quiet fury. My mind ran through every option: confrontation, public humiliation, drama, but none of it felt right. I didn't want a meltdown. I wanted something else: justice, a reckoning. So I chose patience. I decided not to explode. I would collect. Step 1, documentation. I took screenshots with timestamps, saved metadata, cross-referenced dates and locations. There were photos, selfies, receipts. I mapped the geography of betrayal: coffee shops, motels, nights she claimed were work dinners. I stored everything 3 ways: encrypted on a flash drive, in the cloud under a pseudonym, and in a physical folder tucked into my desk. No melodrama, just meticulous accounting. Step 2, research. Infidelity alone doesn't always have legal weight, especially since we weren't married. But financial misconduct? That has teeth. We had a joint account, a lease, shared bills. If she'd been using our funds for hotels and dinners, that was more than betrayal. It was misuse of shared resources. I quietly audited our accounts, matching suspicious charges to her messages. Numbers don't lie. Step 3, patience. I acted normal, smiled when I had to, kept the relationship steady on the surface. Meanwhile, I deepened friendships, strengthened my work connections, and built a buffer of stability. I wanted options when the time came: financial, social, emotional. Weeks passed, the dossier grew. The pattern was undeniable: work dinners that matched dates with him, recurring motel charges, small lies wrapped in casual excuses. One evening, she was especially careless, forgetting to log out of her email. I found flight reservations and receipts tied to the affair. I saved everything. No embellishments. Just proof. The turning point came when I read a line from him. "You make it feel like stealing something that belongs to you. Maybe because it is." She replied with laughing emojis. That's when it stopped being a mistake. It was deliberate trespass. The confrontation. I didn't stage a dramatic scene. One afternoon, I sat across from her over coffee and asked calmly, "Anna, I need to know where we are." She faltered, spun excuses about work stress and distance. I let her talk. Then I said softly, "If there's someone else, tell me. Let's be honest." She broke, admitting to someone, though she downplayed it. "I didn't mean to hurt you. It just happened." I nodded, then said, "I already know." Her face drained of color. I slid one printed page across the table, a single screenshot with a timestamp. No tirade, no screaming, just fact. She trembled, tried to minimize. I didn't bargain. I asked for 2 things: a full audit of our accounts, and a clean financial separation. She agreed. The aftermath. In the weeks that followed, we combed through our finances. The truth showed itself in black and white. Small but repeated misuses of our joint funds for her affair. Not ruinous, but undeniable. She agreed to repay what she owed in installments. I accepted, not out of kindness, but because dragging her through court over a few $1,000s would waste more of my life than it was worth. We separated the lease. She moved into a studio. We had one final, brittle conversation. She offered a small apology. I accepted without warmth. Then she left. I kept the documentation, not to blackmail, not to destroy her, but as protection. And it worked. She never missed a repayment. The quiet pressure of evidence kept her honest. Rebuilding. Betrayal breaks you, but it also forces you to rebuild. I went back to the gym, reconnected with friends, took on extra clients, even dusted off an old book project. Slowly, I built a life that didn't need her. Months later, the final repayment cleared. A single transaction complete notification. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't fireworks, but it felt like justice, measured, quiet, and fair. Anna thought I'd never find out, but I did, and I chose not to let betrayal define me. I chose to hold her accountable, reclaim what was mine, and walk away with dignity intact. That, in the end, was my revenge. Like and subscribe. Share if this happened to you or to someone you know.